Football Injured here, 1v1, Siwal Frontier, blue side. We've got PhatE, plays a Warboss, melee commander that walks through objects, very good offense, destruction and support from the front lines, and up against is Caeltos, lead designer of Elite Mod, plays an Apothecary, support commander that fights in a melee combat by default, begins with a targeted heal and a passive health regeneration aura. This is 2.3 RC1, so not quite release version, but pretty damn close to it. We have double shooters up for PhatE. Caeltos thought about double scouts, maybe he wants to go straight into Devastators if he knows he's facing a Warboss, not sure if he does. Both of these commanders can get ranged weapons that can disable a single model, which would be pretty dangerous for the Apothecary if PhatE can also have his sluggers and those double shooters in the same engagement to swarm him. That is a big if though. Apothecary with some good tools against Orks, Purification Vials of course, and the recently lowered in cost Purification Rites of course in 2.3. Looks like the Warboss is going to turn and help out with this engagement mid. Tactical Marines pushing forward against shooters. Don't have a whole lot to fear against the default shooters. They can just run in and force melee combat. But here comes the Warboss and here comes sluggers. Double shooters turn now to engage PhatE, keeping them in play. Caeltos hugely outnumbered here, and his scouts are busy capping meanwhile, which is what you should do. Chain Axe smacking him in the back of the head. 42.5 DPS on his Chain Axe compared to I think it's not even 30 DPS the Apothecary does by default with his chainsword. Single cap now for Caeltos, has taken the bottom VP. None of them natural on this map, have a center and a northeast as well. And shooters on capping duty. Sluggers already have their burners, gives them a couple of flamer weapons, a couple of power melee weapons. Warboss holding up Caeltos in his base there and is forced off base, turrets even firing on him. And we are seeing double tactical marines from Caeltos. PhatE might respond with Storm Boys, in which case we can perhaps see those Purification Rites in action. Maybe combine it with the Sanguine Chainsword, go to town on those Storm Boys, trying to be a bit aggressive. He's already got the Sergeant up on his scouts, gives them a fragmentation grenade and allows them to detect infiltrated units and objects. Tactical Marines capping now with that 50% faster capping trait, which now Kasrikin can get of course in tier 3 for Imperial Guard if you purchase their Sergeant shooters. Not a fan of that engagement. And grenade does nothing. That was pretty unlucky. Threw it right into the gap of the shooters there. Now he's going to bash power. We have a flamer on the way, not quite. Doesn't have the power. What did he just spend it on? Oh, he's gone for all the Purification Rites. 437, 500 Warboss. Looks like he's happy to engage. He's not going to use him to cap mid, or maybe go ahead and cap this. Maybe his sluggers will do that. He might try and position his sluggers now after they decap that for retreat path melee action. Is he going to? Looks like he is. 427, 500, 2-to-1 cap for Caeltos. Here come those shooters. You do have big shooters up on both of the squads. Still a very popular upgrade, that instant suppression, and we did see shoot 'em good there from the enhanced custom shooter. As you can see, 33.3 DPS on that ranged weapon, and he retains his melee damage, so pretty incredible really, that amount of piercing damage on the Warboss. 409, 500, and he's going to defend his power-ish. Did he take out a generator? Pretty slow in terms of power. Caeltos still doesn't have any generators. Want to get those double tactical marines up early and get this kind of pressure going. No sign of the charge for the Warboss. You can actually knock down more than one model with Shoot 'em Good if you can position it correctly. He's going to try and take out the Apothecary with it. He could just about get away. Probably was unable to retreat while he was being knocked down there, which sometimes happens with those knockdown abilities. Devastators now for Caeltos. He's surely going to need Storm Boys up. PhatE, he can purchase them. They're only 35 power. 378, 500. Sluggers being annoying, fully capping this matured rep point. And now he's going to go after the Tactical Marine surely doesn't want these guys on his power. Yes, here come the sluggers. Yes. Double shooters now with a knob leader on one of them. 365, 500, 2-ton cap for Caeltos. He's keeping the pressure up and managing engagements reasonably well, but now he's getting caught in retreat by those sluggers. Did not recognize them quickly enough. It was a bit odd. He moved his other tactical marines away, but these guys didn't move. Devastator though in retreat path, and he only lost one model. Reasonably lucky to do so. But he did have that heal to keep them going if he needed to. 350, 500. Apothecary again forced to retreat. Caught just by the sheer daka of these double shooters with the Warboss running into him. 343, 500. This is risky, really risky. Still going to try and force melee combat with those tactical marines. Gets Devastators in play, but they are suppressed by aiming what's that, and PhatE is splitting his shooters here. Can he force off these Devastators? Oh, he's gone for advanced target and vengeance rounds. Wow, doing some serious damage to these shooter boys. 336, 500 is a 1-to-1 cap, and Caeltos is yet to lose a VP off his counter. Painboy is up, sub-commander in tier 1 for Orks. Has a heal over time ability and some pretty nifty power melee damage, but he's caught there by the Devastators. Still doesn't have a direct counter. He's going to have to rely on flanks and stuff, which is not too hard on Siwal Frontier, I don't think. We'll see. Orks not the most mobile faction though, before they get their war trucking away. Boss pole is up, spiky armor is up, using that increased health regeneration and damage on hit when someone smacks him in melee combat. Takes out a Devastator model with the sync kill, throws it aside and runs away. Double tactical marines, so you would think we're going to see Stone Guard veterans in tier 2, but you never know. I was hoping we'd see double flamers or something against Orks. Scouts are alive to the threat. He's refacing them to cap that VP. Painboy is going to stick with the sluggers, it looks like, and shooters are on. No, he's going to come and support these shooter boys. And look at the damage on that Apothecary. Good grief, you see the passive health regeneration aura on those tactical marines there. Can this Painboy get into combat though? That's the thing. He's getting shot to bits as he runs in, and if he did run in, you could use Purification Rites to then disrupt him. But I'm guessing he wants to save that for when sluggers are surrounding something, so it hits every model there. 325, 500, still that 2-to-1 cap for Caeltos. Look at the Dakar, even tactical marines out of cover cannot stand against him. There's a grenade, and again doesn't take a model. Pretty unlucky there. Now Scouts getting shot to pieces, trying to force melee combat there, but the piercing damage output from these guys is scary. Scouts really suffer to shooter fire. Lack of heavy infantry armor, so no. Wow, vengeance rounds coming in. New visual effect, as you can see. 306, 500. Painboy just about getting away, 16 hit points or so. Sluggers have capped. Are we going to see a knob leader straight up? Very powerful squad leader. Combine that with a truck. He's purchased something, I think. Might be a Death Dread. More power harass. We haven't seen any of this from PhatE. He's been stuck in the middle, rebuffing Caeltos, who's coming back and back through the mid, and now he's going to take at least one generator hit. 287, 500 and tier 2 for both players. No Storm Boys. I really think he should have gone for his Storm Boys. He would have had to eat a Purification Rites to the face, but he could have charged in afterwards maybe with his Warboss, but he's gone for the boss pole hit. Wow, those vengeance rounds going crazy. Were they buffed in damage as well? Wasn't in the notes. Maybe I'm just not used to seeing them. And they do more damage as the target gets closer, I believe. Apothecary takes out a slugger in retreat. I've not actually seen his Purification Rites heal come into play with its disruption and damage. Slugger's just about getting away there. Shooter boys have to run yet. It's really good for Scouts when they're chasing something in melee combat to have those shotguns which fire as they move. He's gone for some looters here, PhatE. I was not expecting that. They try and control these double tactical marines with them. Taking fire though. It takes out a model immediately in those tactical marines. That was pretty unlucky for Caeltos. Scouts capping mid. Warboss is going to come and have a word. Here comes Sluggers trying to flank around on these Devastators. Look at those Vengeance rounds do work. These tactical marines, wow. He's going to lose them. He's going to lose them surely. No, gets away with a single model. That Vengeance rounds again going absolutely ballistic. Do they do area effect damage now? Do they always do that? 287 and 479. It might be another change in 2.3 which slipped through the cracks in the terms of the notes. I really don't remember them being that effective. Maybe it is just because I see them so rarely. Especially in 1v1 game. Whirlwind up for Caeltos, and he's going for a Razorback as well with that reduced cost on the Razorback. As you can see, 280-60 now for this support vehicle, and the Whirlwind doing its thing. Disruption from very long range if it can hit stuff. As you can see, we couldn't hit those shooters there. Got a slight damage increase to its missiles. Still has the Hunter Killer, which is set to get a little model on the chassis soon-ish, I believe. 286479. Wow, PhatE suddenly has two vehicles to deal with. Tank Buster's surely coming up next for him when he sees that Razorback. 286476, and finally PhatE starting to take VPs off Caeltos' counter. Sluggers using Swampum, 40% less range damage and an increase in speed, and they're closing on these tactical marines. And there's a special attack, and there's using choppers. Global buff from the Warboss, and an incredibly powerful buff it is. I think it buffs melee skill by 60 or something outrageous, and also increases their damage output, of course. Lasts a very long time, but he's stopped in his tracks by the Razorback, and we see a weird boy from PhatE. That's a misplay, I think. He should have got Tank Busters up. He now has that Razorback there to avoid Warp Vomit, avoid the Foot of Gork, even avoid those artillery attacks. He can just jump in and jump out again. There is that artillery attack, and instant direct hit on the tactical marines. Weird boy is forced off though. Caeltos happy to control this area of the map since it gives him easy access to PhatE's power to bash. PhatE's been on a back foot this entire game pretty much. Kind of struggled to get in amongst Caeltos' army, hasn't he? He's got this shooty build with these shooters and that enhanced custom shooter, and now these looters, and he's just getting wrecked by that Devastator squad of those Vengeance rounds. What level are these guys? Level 2. They seem to have killed about 15 Orks by themselves, and they took down the Pain Boy. Very strange that he got that Pain Boy. He seemed to try to use the Pain Boy alongside the double shooters. It didn't quite work out for him. Against double attacks and those Vengeance rounds Devastators, very, very tough to break that down from range. What's this? Oh look, drop pod used, and was that missing from the notes as well? No, I think it was. Which now gives you a tactical marine squad, as you can see. So Caeltos now has triple tactical marines and 2 light vehicles and Devastators. A very odd build for PhatE to deal with, which is perhaps why he's struggling to find an answer at the moment. Oh, down goes the Razorback. There's an answer. Wow, beam your death gun from range. Those things put out some serious damage. Scouts backing away. Those guys are forced off. No sign of any flamers at all. Does have a plasma gun. Perhaps he's expecting a knob squad soonish, but that's a while off. We do have the Weird Boy still around, which will help him break down those ranged lines. Especially if you can get that Warp Vomit off on those Devastators, then perhaps rush them with his Sluggers, who do have their Nobility incidentally. Power Axe now is up on the Apothecary, is level 2. Power melee weapon that gives him back energy by draining it from enemies when he hits. Hard boys on the Sluggers, they are knocked back by the Shotgun Scouts. This is dicey for Caeltos here. He might lose a bunch of Marines. Here come the Devastators though, positioned. And there's Angels of Death as well. Some really good play there for Caeltos. Kept them in the field. And only lost one mother off both the squads, in fact. What are these looters up to? He's going to get caught. They're going to lose a squad. Yeah, completely forgot about his looters. 227, 460. And he's replacing them immediately. Weird boy. Boom! Look at that. Did he take out... Wow, he took out 2 tactical marines with a single shot. That is value. And put zap on them on retreat as well. I don't think it's going to kill anything though. Fully upgraded shooters now. They did well early on, sometimes catching those scouts unawares, but ever since these devastating marines with those vengeance rounds hit the field, they've been wrecking faces. 227, 460. It's tier 3 for Caeltos. He is way ahead here, I think. PhatE needs something drastic, and he doesn't have the requisition. He's been replacing his Orks so much. Now he has another looter squad with that BME. Got to contest with the disruption of this whirlwind, of course, and has he come bottom at all? We see some dead Orks here, so he must have. 2-to-1 cap now for PhatE, but can he hold on? He's gonna have to try and... Looks like he's going bottom. I thought he was gonna try and hold top and mid and put some pressure on this wreck point and stuff. Maybe even try and slip through and hit the power. Is that what he's doing? No, he's capping up mid. He's playing it safe-ish so far. Doesn't want to push ahead into a mass of tactical marines, especially if these devastators are hanging around. Scouts level 2, paid for reinforcement but did not get it. PhatE. Is he going to go tier 3? It's a massive decision. I don't think he should. Maybe get a Death Dread or 2 up. Does have the Hunter Killer to think about, and he could see double missile launches in his face pretty quickly, but if you can get a Death Dread, maybe some Storm Boys as well, get in amongst these marines. You can't leave triple tactical marines to do whatever they want. The Weird Boy's really going to need to pay for himself here. Does he have a Warpath or anything? No, he does have bigger brains though, so he can throw those sluggers in. And they're shooting good on those tactical marines. But yeah, this guy's constantly getting disrupted by that whirlwind. Getting really good value out of this thing. Shotgun blast on the Warboss, and he's forced to retreat. It's a single cap for Caeltos now though. And tier 3 is going for some assault marines, maybe looking to immediately upgrade them to Vanguard veterans. And it's tier 3 for PhatE. He is going tier 3 then. He's got some pretty strong requisition income. Weird Boy doing its job. Warp Vomit a little bit too late to catch those tactical marines. No longer has that damage resistance debuff, of course, attached to it. Slugger's getting a bit too close to base here. Yeah, need to retreat out. 189, 421. Caeltos is cruising so far, but now PhatE's tier 3, and all of a sudden he's got a decent amount of resources. He's only 150 rec or so away from getting a Nob squad out. Where are those assault marines? Here they are. He's got a sergeant. He needs 100 rec to get Vanguard veterans, and he is going straight for those Vanguard veterans. And his shooter's in trouble, and he's going straight after that Weird Boy, I would think. Is he going to get that Nob squad? He's having to reinforce constantly, of course. Infiltrated looters covering mid. Can they try and sneak up to this whirlwind? Caeltos, I think, very aware of those looters losing his Razorback to them, so he's being very careful to keep his whirlwind the heck away. Tactical Marines down to 2 models and 2 models also. And here are those Vanguard veterans, 1st Company Assault Marines with power melee weapons, a Thunderhammer, a Power Sword, 2 Power Swords in fact, and Lightning Claws. So around about 120 power melee DPS, I believe, and that Thunderhammer does have that passive knockback chance, much like the Force Commander's Thunderhammer. 179, 37%. Does it have the same awesome tracking special as well? I wonder if it does. Don't think it does. Imperial Fists. Gonna gonna start smacking stuff in the face here. Or are they aiming what's... sorry, I should say, shoot them good on that model, knocking it back. A staggered jump, but shooters were already in retreat, so no disruption there. Apothecary level 2 now has the combat stims. 179, 345, and PhatE making a good push bottom meanwhile. Some friendly fire from the weird boy on the sluggers. How often does that happen? Kind of like the plasma cannon friendly firing assault marines all the time. They're going after the Warboss, who has that spiky armor, but I think the damage the spiky armor does is piercing. Is that right? Yeah. So the heavily armored Vanguard veterans not too concerned, but they were forced off. Looted tank up now from PhatE. This is very interesting. Caeltos perhaps should have gone for a heavy hitter in the form of Terminators, or maybe even a Land Raider Redeemer instead of the Vanguard veterans, but he's always trying stuff out, so looted tank's going to be very interesting here. Are we going to see the Power Fist on those Vanguard veterans, or a mass of rocket launchers? He can't give these guys a las cannon anymore since he's given them the advanced targeting, taking a shot there from the looted tank. Pretty good tank, this thing. Has that disruptive shot, which is very, very useful. And the mech boy can support it very well with that global. Double cap now for PhatE. He is in the ascendancy, suddenly getting to tier 3, finding himself with a bunch of resources, had quite a light army really. And he's got double looted tanks on the way. Good luck with that. We do have a missile launcher up. Is he going to get 2 of them? This squad still without weapon upgrade. 179, 315. He might get 2 of them when he sees the other looted tank. And no sign of the Power Fist for the Vanguard veterans. They do not have the melter bomb that assault marines have. Let's have the hunter killer missile on the whirlwind as well, but he needs to get it a bit closer to use it. I don't think he wants that, so since he can be chased down afterwards with some rear armor hits and stuff. There is the hunter killer missiles on pretty good range, in fact. Wow, did not realize it had such good range. And that's going to help take down this looted tank, maybe. No, those tactical marines were forced off, and now the repairs come in on the looted tank. But there's vengeance shrouds getting shots in, but this is at its almost at its maximum range, so it wasn't doing a huge amount of damage. Vanguard veterans teleporting in, jumping in, I should say. They can't teleport. There's the merciless strike. They were trying to take out the looted tank with rear armor hits, but it survived 7 hit points. If they had the Power Fist, I think they would have taken it out there. But that's a big if. 179, 241. User choppers on the sluggers. Used quite late there, I think, as he was chasing them in retreat, which is a bit odd. And suddenly it's Caeltos on the back foot, big time. Look at this map control switch around. He really needs to deal with these looted tanks quickly, but he doesn't have the requisition to get what he wants. Is it even worth getting another missile launcher? I think it is. And now he has the Power Fist on the Vanguard veterans, and that's a, what is it? It's 50 DPS heavy melee. You can get on rear armor, that's going to make a big difference. Triple cap for PhatE. Really turned this around. I thought it was done for, but he's kept at it. He's kept his double shooters alive, which I think has been vital. And they're now level 3 and level 3, yeah, so they are putting out some serious stack up. Weird Boy has helped. Really has helped. Vanguard veterans going ballistic now, jumping after the tank. Got a hit or 2, but unable to take out, I don't think. No, 2 looted tanks there, too much firepower. Can PhatE support 2 looted tanks though with repairs? These sluggers gonna have their hands full. They are level 3 as well. 179, 128. It's a 2-1 for PhatE. Caeltos happy at the moment to re-establish his hold mid, or at least try to. Done so well with those Devastators. They've been amazing with those vengeance rounds, getting rear armor hits there, and a rear armor hit from the missile launcher takes down the looted tank. He now does have double missile launchers, and PhatE is going to want to think about getting some knobs or some flash kits on the field, I think. Yep, down goes the other looted tank. Double missile launchers doing the job, but that is 80 power spent on missile launchers. They're 40 power on her, I think. This is a hell of a lot, really. But not many squads have this kind of versatility. 179.97. Weird Boys level 2 has that warpath now. So what is PhatE going to respond with here? Flash Gits with their blasters would be incredibly painful for this blob of tactical marines, but then he has to be wary of the Vanguard veteran jump, but he can counter initiate with sluggers and the warp vomit, so that might still be worth it. And he's going for the Flash Gits. These guys are now heavy infantry, of course, so they will be resistive to the piercing damage of the bolters, but they will take more damage from the plasma gun tactical marine squad. There's the warp vomit on those Vanguard veterans, as I just mentioned, forces them off. PhatE with more friendly fire on his poor sluggers, and PhatE maintains control of mid-ish, or does he? Tactical marines are decapping it. In fact, they have decapped it. Here are the Flash Gits going straight for those blasters. These blasters do psychic damage, which does extra to heavy and super heavy infantry, and the Flash Gits got some new bits on their models, as you can see, trying to make them look similar to the recently released Games Workshop models for Flash Gits, which is the first time I think that Games Workshop have released specific models for Flash Gits, and now they have those blasters looking pretty awesome, as you can see. 165.60, the single cap for Caeltos. He's kind of run out of steam, isn't he? Those double looted tanks really stopped him in his tracks, and I don't think those Vanguard veterans have quite paid off. I assume he got them to chase down that weird boy and try and take him out, but they haven't really had the chance to do that. Immediately had double looted tanks in his face, which needed answers, and level 4 Warboss is not good for him. Apothecary level 3, trying to finish the cap but unable to do so. Now Vanguard veterans going after the Warboss, getting a special there. 121.60. But here come the Flash Gits, not firing though. What are they doing? I have no idea. Big misclick here, I think, from PhatE. Yeah, he must have clicked the terrain instead of the Vanguard veterans and moved to the location instead of attacking. That was unfortunate for him. 97.60. Is that going to cost him the game there? It's a double cap. And Predator tank on the way for Caeltos. There's a lot of red PhatE. He could use a nuke. Really could use a nuke. Might save it for a pivotal moment to stop a cap, like right now, where he might try and force Caeltos back into his base and drop it there. Lots and lots of Dakar. Devastators coming into play. These guys level 4 have done really, really well. And there's those Vengeance rounds again. Shooters doing a decent job tanking it at that maximum range. 2-to-1 cap now for Caeltos. Looters infiltrated right next to these capping Vanguard veterans. And that Whirlwind continues to be a pain in the arse. This thing's level 2. Here's the Predator tank getting the extra armor. And can his looters do the job on this thing? Where are those Flash Gits? Here they are. Hitting those Vanguard veterans in mid-air, as you saw there, but they are immune while they are jumping. Vanguard veterans leading the lines, initiating the engagement. Are they going to pay for it with a model loss? They take out a Flash Git there, and these guys taking extra damage, of course, from those power weapons now that they are heavy infantry, and that did not go well for them at all. Lost 2 models, and that was a hell of a lot of red that they give. They give 20 red each. 39.60, 2-to-1 cap for Caeltos. Looks like he might have done enough here. But I do talk a lot of crap when I make my predictions, don't I? Warboss is forced off. These Vanguard veterans all of a sudden coming good with those Flash Gits on the field, able to hunt them down pretty effectively there. And Flash Gits not even fully reinforcing. He's running out of time. 23.60. Vanguard veterans jumping the blob. Wow, he kept them blobbed up, knowing the Vanguard veterans were around, and there's the rocks. Can he take out the tank with it? No. Wow, direct hit on the Devastators almost wiped them out completely. If they weren't level 4, that might have wiped them. 1260. It's a 2-1 for Caeltos. Looks like this is the game. And a bit of a pretty fun game it was. Triple tactical marines and some light vehicles from Caeltos, and PhatE with a shooty army mainly. The Pain Boy didn't do a whole lot, was taken out around this area by the Vengeance Rounds Devastators, which were epically good. Caeltos did lose one of his tactical marines. Unless, no, I don't think he's got any Stone Guard, no. So yeah, interesting build from Caeltos. Kind of caught PhatE unawares, I think. Didn't quite know what to do. I really think he should have got Tank Busters up and maybe Storm Boys, but the Weird Boy did do reasonably good towards the end. He was almost level 3. Some of that friendly fire on the Sluggers was a bit brutal. These Sluggers got to level 4. That's not bad. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.